Lena Ward was a young pilot on the colony ship Valiant Dawn. The ship was huge and filled with hundreds of people traveling to a new world far away from Earth. Lena loved the stars. She had always felt a strange connection to them, as if they were calling her name. Every time she looked out the window, she felt something move deep inside her, something old and powerful that she could not understand. One day, while she was in the flight simulator, something strange happened. The lights flickered, and her control screen flashed red. Her heart started racing. A sudden burst of energy passed through her neural link helmet, and she gasped in pain. Images began to flood her mind. She saw fire, a tall woman with shining armor, and a young girl holding a sword with calm eyes. The girl whispered, "Don't fear the fire. Become it." Lena tore the helmet off and fell to the ground, breathing hard. Her crewmate, Ethan, ran to her side. "Lena, are you okay?" he asked. She could barely answer. The words came out softly. "I saw her, a warrior. She called me Arya." Ethan looked confused but helped her to her feet. They reported the malfunction to the ship's engineers, but no one could explain what had happened. The neural link systems showed no damage, yet the readings from Lena's brain activity were off the charts. Later that night, Lena couldn't sleep. She kept seeing the same vision: the fire, the warrior, the sword. Every time she closed her eyes, she felt heat moving through her veins. It wasn't painful anymore, it was powerful. She stood in front of the mirror in her small cabin and stared at her reflection. For a moment, her eyes glowed a faint orange color, like the light of a distant flame. She blinked, and it was gone. The next morning, she went to the ship's medical bay. Dr. Harper, the medical officer, ran several scans. After a long silence, the doctor looked at her with concern. "Lena, your neural energy levels have tripled overnight. This isn't normal. Your body is adapting to something human but also more than human." Lena didn't understand. She asked, "What do you mean?" The doctor hesitated. "There was a project long ago called Dragonfire. It was meant to enhance human DNA for survival in extreme worlds. Maybe you carry that gene. Maybe it just woke up." Lena felt a chill run through her. The word dragon echoed in her head. She remembered the vision, the fire, the girl named Arya. Could it be more than a dream? Could it be a memory? The thought scared her, yet deep down she felt a strange sense of pride, as if she was meant for something great. After leaving the med bay, she went to the training dome to clear her mind. The dome was a wide zero-gravity space used for combat and fitness drills. Captain Brienne Holt was already there, practicing with her energy staff. Brienne was tall and strong, her movements graceful but firm. When she noticed Lena watching, she smiled slightly. "You're up early, pilot," she said. Lena nodded. "Couldn't sleep." Brienne handed her a practice blade. "Then let's see what you've got. It might help clear your mind." Lena hesitated but took the blade. They began to spar. At first, Lena moved slowly, unsure of herself. But as Brienne struck faster, something inside Lena woke up. Her reflexes sharpened. Her body moved with speed and grace she didn't know she had. The sound of the blades echoed through the dome. Brienne's eyes widened slightly as she parried a strike that came too fast to see. "Where did you learn that?" Brienne asked, stepping back. Lena breathed heavily. I don't know. It just happened." Her voice trembled. Brienne smiled, impressed. "You've got fire in you, Ward. Don't lose it." When the duel ended, Lena floated silently in the low gravity, her heart pounding. She felt alive in a way she never had before. The visions, the fire, the power, they all made sense now. She was changing, and deep inside, something ancient was stirring. That night, she looked out at the stars again. The same voice from her vision whispered softly in her mind. "The dragon sleeps within you. When the time comes, wake it." Lena closed her eyes and whispered back, "I'm ready." Outside the ship, the stars burned brighter, as if the universe itself was watching her. And somewhere, deep in her blood, the dragon began to stir. The next day, Lena tried to act normal, but she could still feel the strange energy inside her. It moved like warm light through her body, reacting to every emotion. When she felt calm, it rested quietly. When she felt fear or anger, it stirred. She didn't know how to control it, and that scared her. She spent most of the morning helping Ethan repair one of the shuttle's landing thrusters. He kept talking about their next mission to the new planet, but Lena could barely focus. Every sound felt louder, every color brighter. Her senses were sharper than ever before. When she touched the metal hull, she could almost feel the flow of energy inside it. Ethan noticed her silence. "You okay? You seem different today," he said. Lena forced a smile. "Just tired, that's all." Later that afternoon, Captain Brienne Holt called her to the training dome again. "You've been assigned to ground recon," Brienne said. "Before we head down, I want to make sure your reflexes are up to standard." Lena nodded, feeling both nervous and excited. Brienne handed her a practice staff. "Let's see what you learned yesterday." They began to spar again. Brienne's strikes were fast and strong, but Lena's movements flowed with natural rhythm. It felt like her body remembered every move before she even made it. Each clash of their weapons sent sparks flying. Brienne pushed her harder, testing her limits. "You're holding back," Brienne said firmly. "Don't think, just move." Something inside Lena clicked. She let go of her fear and focused on the moment. Her staff glowed faintly as if it was catching the light from her skin. She spun, blocked, and countered faster than before. The sound of the duel filled the dome, echoing through the metal walls. Finally, Brienne stepped back, breathing heavily, a smile on her face. "That's more like it," she said. "You're not just fast, you're something else." Lena lowered her weapon, confused. "Something else?" Brienne nodded. "I've trained soldiers for 15 years. No one moves like that. Whatever happened to you, it's changing you." She placed a hand on Lena's shoulder. "Don't fight it. Learn from it." After the session, Lena returned to her cabin. She sat on her bed, staring at her hands. When she focused, tiny sparks of light danced over her fingers. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. She clenched her fists, and the light vanished. She didn't tell anyone. She didn't want to become a lab subject or a danger to the crew. That night, she dreamt again. In her dream, she was standing on a battlefield surrounded by ash and smoke. The woman from before, the one with shining armor, appeared once more. Her face was calm, her eyes full of strength. "You are her," the woman said softly. "You are the one who remembers. The dragon sleeps no longer." Lena tried to ask who she was, but the woman raised her sword, and the dream faded into fire. When Lena woke, her room was dark, but the air felt charged. The ship's AI voice spoke quietly through the intercom. "Pilot Ward, your neural readings are abnormal. Are you experiencing distress?" Lena took a deep breath. "No," she said. "Just a dream." But she knew it was more than that. In the command deck, Commander Elias Grant reviewed the medical reports from Dr. Harper. He frowned as he read Lena's data. "Tripled neural output? Increased bioelectric activity?" he muttered. He looked at Brienne. "She could be dangerous." Brienne shook her head. "She's not a threat. She just needs guidance." Grant didn't look convinced. "If this continues, she could overload. Keep an eye on her. If anything happens, I want to know." The next morning, the crew gathered for mission prep. They were going to explore the planet below, a world covered in blue forests and strange glowing storms. Lena stood beside Brienne, suited up and ready, though her heart was heavy with questions. Who was she becoming? Why her? As the shuttle's engines roared to life, she felt the warmth rise inside her again. But this time it didn't scare her. It felt like courage. Brienne looked at her and smiled. "You ready, Ward?" Lena nodded. "Always." As the shuttle descended through the thick clouds, lightning flashed around them. The crew braced for turbulence. For a brief moment, Lena saw her reflection in the window, and behind her, she thought she saw a faint image of a dragon made of light, its eyes burning bright. She blinked, and it was gone. But deep down, she knew the truth. The dragon was real. It was part of her now. The shuttle broke through the clouds and entered the blue atmosphere of the planet. Below them stretched endless forests that glowed faintly, their leaves shining like soft lights in the dark. The crew sat quietly as Captain Brienne guided the shuttle toward a small clearing near a lake. The landing was rough but steady. When the engines stopped, silence filled the air. Outside, strange bird-like sounds echoed through the trees. Lena unbuckled her harness and looked out the window. The planet was beautiful but strange. The air shimmered faintly, and she could feel energy in it, almost alive. Ethan grinned beside her. "First boots on a new world," he said. "Feels good, doesn't it?" Lena nodded, but her mind was elsewhere. The warmth inside her chest was growing again, stronger than ever. She felt as if the planet itself was speaking to her, calling her name. The crew stepped outside. The air was warm and sweet, and tiny blue lights floated like dust in the wind. Brienne raised her scanner. "No signs of life forms nearby, but the radiation readings are strange," she said. Lena knelt by the soil and touched it. The ground pulsed faintly under her fingers, as if it was breathing. She pulled her hand back quickly. "This place is alive," she whispered. As the team moved deeper into the forest, they reached the remains of something metallic half-buried in the earth. It looked like the wreck of an old ship, dark and broken. Brienne ordered everyone to spread out and investigate. Lena stayed close to her. The wreck's metal hull was covered in strange markings. Not human, not familiar. When she touched one of the symbols, her vision flashed white. She saw fire again. Not in her mind, but real. A vast ship falling through the sky, flames trailing behind it. Voices screamed. A woman's voice shouted, "Protect the heart." Then everything vanished, and Lena stumbled backward. Brienne caught her. "Ward, what happened?" she asked. Lena shook her head, trying to steady herself. "I saw something. A ship burning." Brienne's face darkened. "You've been seeing things since that neural accident, haven't you?" Lena nodded slowly. "It's like memories that aren't mine." Brienne sighed. "Stay focused. We'll report this when we get back." But Lena could tell the captain was worried. As night fell, the crew set up a camp near the wreck. The glowing trees gave off enough light to see, and the air buzzed faintly with static. Lena sat by the lake, watching her reflection. The orange glow in her eyes appeared again, brighter this time. She could feel the dragon stirring. "Why now?" she whispered. "Why here?" The ship's AI voice came through her earpiece. "Pilot Ward, your neural levels are rising. Please rest." Lena smiled sadly. "I don't think rest will help me anymore." She looked toward the dark forest. In the distance, something moved, shapes gliding between the trees, tall and silent. Suddenly, alarms rang from the camp. "We've got movement," Ethan shouted. The crew grabbed their weapons. From the shadows emerged strange creatures made of metal and light, their bodies humming with energy. They moved like predators circling the camp. Brienne raised her rifle. "Hold positions." Lena's heart raced. The heat in her chest exploded into fire. She felt power flood through her body, brighter and stronger than before. Without thinking, she ran forward. The creatures attacked, but the air around her shimmered. She swung her arm, and a wave of force burst out, throwing the attackers back. The ground shook. The others stared in shock. Brienne shouted, "Lena, stop! You'll burn yourself out." But Lena couldn't stop. The energy inside her had taken control. Fire surrounded her, yet it didn't hurt. Her eyes glowed gold as she moved like lightning through the chaos. One by one, the creatures fell, their light fading into the dark. When it was over, Lena dropped to her knees, breathing hard. The camp was silent except for the soft sound of wind. Ethan ran to her side. "Lena, what did you just do?" he asked, voice trembling. She looked at her hands. Faint smoke rose from her palms, but there were no burns. Brienne approached slowly, her expression serious but calm. "Whatever that was, it saved us," she said. "But we need answers. No more hiding." Lena nodded weakly. I didn't mean to. It just happened. Brienne helped her stand. Then it's time we find out what's really inside you. Lena looked at the glowing forest and the distant shadows that still watched from afar. The dragon within her pulsed again, silent but awake. Deep down, she knew this was only the beginning. Back on the Valiant Dawn, the crew returned in silence. The air inside the ship felt heavy. Everyone had seen what Lena could do, and no one knew what it meant. Commander Elias Grant waited for them in the hangar, his face unreadable. Report, he said as Brienne and Lena stepped forward. Brienne spoke first. The planet is alive, sir. It reacts to energy. We found a wreck, non-human in design. Then we were attacked by sentient machines. Pilot Ward neutralized them. She hesitated before finishing. With some kind of energy discharge. Commander Grant's eyes shifted to Lena. Is that true? He asked. Lena looked down. Yes, sir. I didn't mean to. It just happened. Grant studied her for a long moment. You realize this could be a security risk. Whatever you are becoming might endanger this ship. Brienne took a step forward. With respect, sir, she saved our lives. If she hadn't acted, none of us would be here. Grant sighed. I'm aware of that, Captain. But until we understand what's happening to her, she stays under observation. He turned to Dr. Harper. Run a full analysis. I want answers. Lena followed Dr. Harper to the med bay. She lay inside the scanning chamber as machines hummed softly around her. Images flashed on the doctor's monitor. Waves of glowing energy moving through her body. Dr. Harper frowned. This isn't normal human biology, she said quietly. Your neural pathways are fusing with bioelectric channels. It's like your cells are generating energy on their own. Lena sat up slowly. Can you stop it? The doctor shook her head. I don't think it's meant to be stopped. It looks designed, like something built inside you long ago. Lena thought of the visions again, the woman in armor, the burning sky, the words, protect the heart. Maybe this was all connected. When she left the med bay, Brienne was waiting for her in the corridor. How bad is it? She asked. Lena shrugged. The doctor says it's not bad, just different. Brienne crossed her arms. Different scares people on this ship. Grant's already talking about containment measures. You might want to keep your distance for a while. Lena sighed. He thinks I'm a threat. Brienne nodded. He's a soldier. He sees danger before he sees courage. Don't take it personally. They walked together toward the training dome. Brienne stopped near the entrance and looked at her. I need to know something. Back on the planet, when you fought those machines, what did you feel? Lena hesitated. It felt like instinct, like I was remembering something I'd done before. The fire, the strength, it wasn't anger. It was purpose. I felt like I had to protect everyone. Brienne studied her face carefully, then nodded. That's what makes you human, Lena. Don't forget that. For a moment, there was quiet between them. The ship's lights flickered, and the hum of the engines echoed faintly through the hall. Then Brienne spoke again. Tomorrow we'll run a combat simulation. I want to see if you can control it. If you can't, Grant will have a reason to ground you. If you can, maybe he'll start trusting you. Lena gave a small smile. You really think he'll trust me? Brienne shrugged. He doesn't have to. I just need you to trust yourself. That night, Lena couldn't sleep. The images kept coming. Dragons flying over burning skies. A woman raising her sword against impossible odds. When she opened her eyes, she saw faint lines of light tracing across her skin, moving like veins of fire. She stood up and touched the wall of her cabin. The metal pulsed softly under her hand, responding to her energy. Suddenly, the ship's AI spoke. Pilot Ward, you are exceeding safe neural output limits. Please reduce stress levels. Lena whispered, I can't. It's not stress. It's waking up. In the command deck, alarms began to beep softly. Commander Grant frowned as he read the data feed. Ward's neural link is active again, he said. Her energy levels are spiking. Brienne looked at the readings and then at him. She's not losing control. She's learning to use it. Grant turned to her sharply. Or it's learning to use her. Down in her cabin, Lena looked out the window at the stars. She could feel the dragon inside her breathing, slow and powerful. For the first time, she wasn't afraid of it. She whispered softly, "If you're part of me, then let's make peace." The warmth in her chest answered like a heartbeat. Somewhere deep in space, the stars flickered brighter, as if something ancient had just awakened. The next morning came with tension in the air. Everyone aboard the Valiant Dawn had heard rumors about what Lena had done on the planet. Some looked at her with awe, others with fear. She could feel their eyes on her as she walked through the corridors. The whispers followed her, but she kept her head high. Brienne had told her to trust herself, and she meant to try. In the training dome, Brienne was waiting. The dome lights glowed soft white, and the floor shimmered faintly as the simulation began to load. "We're running a live combat scenario," Brienne said. "Non-lethal, but realistic. I want to see how much control you have." Lena nodded, her nerves tight. "What if I lose control again?" Brienne gave a calm smile. "Then I'll stop you. You're not alone in this." The simulation flickered to life. The dome transformed into a dense alien jungle, full of shadows and glowing plants. Mechanical drones flew between the trees, scanning for movement. Lena felt her pulse rise. She held a training staff in her hands, but her palms already tingled with that strange heat. Brienne moved beside her, sharp and steady. "Remember your breathing. Don't fight the energy. Guide it." The first drones appeared, hovering low with flashing red sensors. Brienne shot one down, and another turned toward Lena. Instinct took over. Lena moved before she could think, striking the air. A burst of light flew from her staff, knocking the drone from the sky. Brienne's eyes widened slightly, but she said nothing. The fight continued. More drones came, faster this time. Lena spun and dodged, her movements glowing with every step. The energy flowed with her rhythm, wild but beautiful. When the simulation ended, the jungle vanished and the dome lights returned. Lena stood still, breathing hard, small sparks dancing over her arms. Brienne approached slowly. "You didn't lose control," she said. Lena looked at her hands, amazed. "It listened to me. I could feel it moving, but I wasn't afraid this time." Before Brienne could reply, the ship's alarms blared. A red light filled the room. Commander Grant's voice came over the intercom. "All officers to the command deck. Unknown contact approaching." Brienne and Lena ran through the corridors, the hum of the engines growing louder. When they reached the bridge, the large viewing screen showed a dark shape emerging from the planet's orbit. It wasn't human. The structure was massive, almost alive, its surface shifting like liquid metal. Grant stared at it in disbelief. "That's not a ship," he said quietly. "It's something else." The communications officer turned in panic. "It's sending a signal, sir. Same frequency as the distress call we picked up earlier." Grant ordered, "Play it." The voice that filled the bridge was distorted but unmistakably human. "This is Commander Hale of the Arcadia expedition. We are under attack. The machines have turned against us. They protect the heart. Do not awaken it." The message ended in static. Lena froze. "The heart," she whispered. "I've heard that before in my visions." Everyone turned to look at her. Grant frowned. "What do you mean?" Lena explained what she had seen on the planet, the burning ship, the voice shouting those same words. Brienne stepped closer. "If she's connected to that thing, maybe she can sense what it wants." Grant hesitated. "That's a risk." Brienne looked at him. "So is doing nothing." They all turned back to the screen. The alien structure began to pulse with blue light, and smaller shapes detached from it, ships, hundreds of them. The radar filled with red blips. "They're coming toward us," said the navigation officer. Grant gave the order. "Battle stations. Prepare the defense grid." The crew scrambled. Brienne turned to Lena. "You stay with me. If this goes bad, we'll need your power." Lena's heart pounded. "What if I can't control it?" Brienne met her eyes firmly. "Then I'll help you." The first wave of energy blast struck the ship's shields. The hull shook violently. Lights flickered as alarms wailed through the corridors. Lena grabbed a support rail to stay upright. She felt the dragon stir inside her again, stronger than ever. The fire rose, not from fear, but from determination. She closed her eyes and reached out with her mind. The ship's power grid flickered in response. For a moment, the shields glowed brighter, holding against the attack. Commander Grant stared at the readings. Power surge? Stabilizing shields? He turned to Brienne. Is she doing this? Brienne nodded slightly. Yes, she's fighting with us. Lena opened her eyes, glowing gold with light. I can hold it, she said. Her voice trembled, but her will was steady. Just tell me what to do. Grant gave a short nod. Then keep those shields up, pilot. Let's see what this dragon can really do. The valiant Dawn trembled as enemy fire struck its shields again and again. The bridge was filled with flashing lights and urgent voices. Commander Grant shouted orders, trying to keep the ship steady. Outside, hundreds of glowing ships swarmed like angry insects, firing blue streaks of plasma. The valiant Dawn was strong, but it couldn't last forever. Lena stood in the middle of the bridge, her hands glowing faintly as she focused. She could feel the ship systems pulsing under her touch, the power grid, the shields, the energy coils. It was like the vessel had become part of her. The dragon within her stirred again, but this time she didn't resist. She welcomed it. Brienne stood beside her, calm despite the chaos. You can do this, Lena, she said. Focus on the rhythm. The ship's energy flows like a heartbeat. Match it. Lena nodded. She closed her eyes and reached deeper into that connection. The fire inside her rose and merged with the ship's pulse. For a moment, she and the valiant Dawn became one. The lights brightened. The shields grew stronger, glowing with a golden shimmer. The next volley from the enemy fleet hit but failed to break through. Gasps filled the bridge. Shields holding at 120%, the technician shouted. Commander Grant looked amazed but didn't waste time. Fire all batteries. Push them back. The ship returned fire, sending beams of light through space. Several enemy crafts exploded, scattering debris. But then the massive alien structure in orbit began to move. A deep vibration echoed through space. It's charging something, Brienne warned. On the screen, energy gathered at the center of the structure, a growing sphere of blue fire. Grant's voice hardened. That thing's going to fire on us. We won't survive a direct hit. He turned to Lena. Can you do anything? Lena's pulse quickened. She felt the dragon within her roar, a deep voice echoing in her mind. You are the flame that shields the heart. She understood. She had one chance. She stepped forward, placing her hands on the control console. The lights around her dimmed. I can protect the ship, she said quietly. But I'll need to channel everything. Brienne grabbed her arm. That could kill you. Lena met her eyes. Then it'll be worth it. The alien structure fired. A massive beam of energy tore through space, heading straight for them. The crew braced for impact. Lena closed her eyes and let the fire take her. The glow around her body flared into bright gold, filling the entire bridge. For a brief moment, everything was silent. Then the beam struck. A massive shockwave burst outward, shaking the stars themselves. But when the light faded, the valiant Dawn was still there, surrounded by a shimmering golden shield. The alien beam had split in two, curving harmlessly around the ship. The entire crew stared in disbelief. Lena collapsed to her knees, her body trembling. Brienne caught her before she fell completely. Lena, stay with me, she shouted. Lena's eyes opened weakly, still glowing faintly. It's not over, she whispered. They'll come again. On the screen, the alien fleet began to pull back. The great structure stopped glowing. The smaller ships retreated into its shadow. Then the comms officer shouted, They're sending a message. It's not hostile. Grant frowned. Put it through. A deep, mechanical voice filled the bridge. The heart awakens. The protector has risen. The cycle will continue. Then the transmission ended. Silence followed. Brienne helped Lena stand. "Protector?" she asked softly. Lena shook her head. "I don't know, but I think they were testing us." Commander Grant crossed his arms. "Whatever they were, they're not finished. We'll stay in orbit and monitor that thing. Harper, keep her under observation." Lena looked at Brienne. "You still want to test my control?" Brienne smiled faintly. "I think you've passed." As the tension on the bridge faded, Lena walked to the window. The golden light of her shield still glimmered faintly around the ship, fading like embers after a storm. She whispered to herself, "The dragon listens." Brienne stood beside her. "And it fights for us." Outside, the alien structure drifted quietly, but deep within its core, something ancient stirred. The duel that began centuries ago between courage and power had found new players. And though the battle had paused, Lena knew it was far from over. The days after the battle were quiet, but the silence carried weight. The crew of the Valiant Dawn moved carefully, fixing the ship systems and monitoring the strange alien structure that still floated in orbit. Commander Grant ordered no one to approach it, but curiosity filled every corner of the ship. Everyone wanted to know what it was and why it had stopped its attack. Lena spent most of her time in the medical bay, recovering. Her strength returned slowly, but the glow in her eyes had faded. She felt empty inside, like the fire had gone quiet, sleeping somewhere deep within her. Brienne visited her often, sitting by her side without saying much. Their bond had grown stronger through battle and trust. One evening, as the lights dimmed for ship night, Lena dreamed again. She saw herself standing on a vast plain of ash and metal. The sky burned with red light, and in the distance stood a figure made of flames, a dragon-shaped shadow. It spoke in a voice that shook the ground. "The heart calls to you. Its song must be answered." She woke with a gasp, her body covered in cold sweat. The next morning, Lena told Brienne about the dream. Brienne listened carefully, then nodded. "Maybe that thing out there isn't just a weapon," she said. "Maybe it's alive, or connected to something that is." Commander Grant joined them, looking serious. "We've been scanning the structure. There's an energy reading in its core. Same signature as Lena's power." That news sent a chill through the room. "You think it's reacting to me?" Lena asked. Grant folded his arms. "It's possible. If that thing believes you're some kind of protector, maybe it's waiting for you." Brienne frowned. "Or testing her again." Later that day, a strange event shook the ship. The alien structure began to pulse with light, sending out a low hum. The vibrations traveled through space and reached the Valiant Dawn. Lena felt it in her bones. "It's calling me," she said softly. The hum grew louder, and suddenly, a beam of blue light shot out from the structure, touching the ship's hull. Systems flickered, but nothing was damaged. Instead, the beam formed a shimmering gate outside the ship, an opening in space itself. Grant stared at the screen. "That's an invitation," he said grimly. "Or a trap." Brienne looked at Lena. "You already know what it wants." Lena nodded slowly. "It wants me to come." Grant hesitated, but he could see determination in Lena's eyes. "If you go, you won't go alone," he said. "Take a small team, no more than 3. Brienne stepped forward. "I'm going with her." Grant nodded. "Then take Lieutenant Mason and Dr. Ruiz. You'll need someone to monitor your vitals." The shuttle left the Valiant Dawn and drifted toward the glowing gate. As they crossed through, light surrounded them. For a moment, there was nothing. No sound, no time, only a soft warmth like a heartbeat. Then they appeared inside the alien structure. The interior was vast and full of floating metal shards, glowing symbols, and rivers of light. It felt more like being inside a living creature than a ship. The air pulsed gently, and every sound echoed. "This place is incredible," Mason whispered. Brienne held her weapon ready. "Stay alert." Lena walked ahead, following a faint path of light that seemed to lead deeper. They reached a chamber at the center. A massive sphere floated in the air, glowing faintly gold. Pulsed slowly, like it was breathing. "The heart?" Lena said, almost in awe. The same voice from her dream filled the air again, deep and resonant. "Protector, you carry the flame once lost. The cycle nears its end." Brienne stepped closer to Lena. "What does it mean?" Lena shook her head. "I don't know, but I think it's remembering me." Suddenly, the light around them darkened. The sphere flashed once, and the ground shook. From the shadows emerged tall, metallic figures with glowing blue eyes. Their movements were slow but heavy, and they raised weapons that hummed with energy. Brienne aimed her rifle. "We've got company," she shouted. Lena felt the fire awaken again. She could feel the dragon stirring inside her chest. Her hands began to glow gold. "No," she said quietly. "They're not enemies, they're guardians." She stepped forward, holding her palms out. The machines froze in place, then slowly knelt before her. Brienne lowered her weapon in shock. Mason whispered, "What are they doing?" Lena's voice trembled, but her eyes shone with light again. "They're waiting for me to decide what comes next." Brienne looked around at the massive chamber, the kneeling machines, and the glowing sphere above them. "Then whatever choice you make," she said, "it's going to change everything." Lena took a deep breath and looked up at the heart, her reflection shining in its golden light. She didn't know what the future held, but she could feel it. The dragon within her was no longer a burden. It was a promise. Lena stood in front of the heart, its golden light washing over her face. The warmth was soothing but carried a weight of memory, like the echo of countless voices whispering from long ago. Around her, the metal guardians remained kneeling, their blue eyes dim and waiting. Brienne and the others stood back, watching silently. The air inside the chamber seemed alive. The walls shifted slightly, as if breathing. The sphere pulsed brighter, and the same deep voice filled the air again. "The protector has returned. The flame must choose its path. Restore the balance or end the cycle." Lena's heart pounded. "What does that mean?" she asked aloud, her voice shaking. "What balance?" Images flashed through her mind, visions of war and destruction, of ancient dragons flying across burning skies, and of humans standing defiant against machines. She saw herself among them, again and again, in different faces and forms. The cycle had repeated for ages with the same outcome: creation, rebellion, ruin. Now it was her turn. Brienne stepped forward carefully. "Lena, whatever you decide, we're with you. But don't lose yourself to it." Lena nodded. She felt the dragon stir within her, restless and ready. "I can feel their memories," she whispered. "Every protector before me tried to destroy the heart, but it only started again. Maybe the only way to end it is to let it live." She raised her hands, and the golden light flowed from her palms, surrounding the heart. The chamber filled with warmth and gentle sound, like the heartbeat of the universe itself. The voice spoke once more, softer now. "Then you choose to heal, not to destroy." Lena's eyes filled with tears. "Yes," she said. "It's time for this to end, but not through death, through peace." The golden light expanded, filling every corner of the structure. The machines rose slowly, lowering their weapons. The darkness that had lingered in the walls melted away, replaced by soft light. Outside, the alien structure changed shape, unfolding like a flower in bloom. On the valiant dawn, the crew watched in awe as the massive object transformed into a ring of light that stretched across the stars. Brienne shielded her eyes as the brightness grew. "Lena!" she shouted. "What's happening?" Lena smiled faintly. "It's freeing itself." Her body shimmered, her outline glowing gold. Brienne tried to reach for her, but her hand passed through light. "No," she whispered. "You're not coming back, are you?" Lena shook her head slowly. "I think I am the bridge now. The dragon and the flame can't be separated anymore." Brienne's eyes filled with tears. "You don't have to do this alone." Lena smiled sadly. "I'm not alone. You taught me to trust myself. That's enough." The heart pulsed one last time. The golden light became brilliant and then faded gently into soft white. When the glow finally cleared, The chamber was empty. The sphere was gone. Only Lena's necklace, a small silver pendant shaped like a flame, remained floating in the air before it fell softly into Brienne's hands. Back on the Valiant Dawn, the alien ring vanished into the stars, leaving comm space behind. Commander Grant ordered a scan, but there was nothing left but traces of light. "It's gone," he said quietly. "All of it." Brienne returned to the ship later, holding Lena's pendant close. She stood by the observation window, staring out at the endless night. Mason approached her gently. "Do you think she's really gone?" Brienne didn't answer right away. She looked at the pendant and smiled faintly. "No, I think she's where she belongs, watching over all of us." Outside, far beyond the ship's sensors, a faint golden shimmer moved across the stars like a dragon made of light. The universe felt quieter, calmer, but alive. The war between flame and shadow had finally ended. And somewhere in that endless sky, Lena's voice echoed softly, carried by starlight. "The dragon listens, and it remembers."